Hello, family. Let me let me adjust my situation. It is December 31st, 2024, and guess what? We made it. We made it. We made it. I have maybe two special guests, but for sure one special guest coming up very shortly, and we are going to talk about divorcing 2024 because we are going to be divorcing all the things that did not serve us in 2024. So let's go. Where is my guest? I don't see her yet, so we'll just wait for her. But I know from talking to so many people that 2024, it was not what they thought it was going to be, right? So there were so many things that happened. You may have had all of these goals and these things that you wanted to do, and they just didn't quite manifest the way that you wanted because there were things that you had to get through, right? There were things that were going on that you maybe weren't sure if you could get through, but guess what? You made it to the other side. And so I feel the same way. 2024 was a surprising kind of year for me because there were things that happened that maybe some of them that were planned, that I did plan on happening and that was okay. But there were other things that happened and they just went awry, right? There were obstacles with the plans, and then there were pop-ups with the plans, and then there was chaos with the plans, and then it was just mayhem with the plans. And it was like, this is new. How do I really navigate all of this and what's going on? So that is what we're going to be talking about because while we can't control all the things that happen to us, we can control ourselves and the way that we handle situations in our lives. And so 2025, I feel like no matter what comes our way, and I'm saying our because I'm talking to you too. I feel like it should, let me think, it should be in a way where we don't make it so difficult for ourselves because the things are going to happen no matter what. So it's really about us taking stock in what it is that we can do, how we decide to overcome the things that are happening, and how we decide whether this is going to be something that holds us back from the things that we need to do or propels us forward. Because while we can't control all the things that happen in the outside, we can control how we receive them. We can control our behavior. We can control our mindset. We can help get over all our negative thoughts regarding a situation. So, my special guest is coming up, but they are having a difficult time with the link. So, just give me a second so that I can help them get on with the link. And you know what? We're just going to do this in real time. So this is a live. This is what happens behind the scenes. So we're going to take a call and see if we can help her get online. Because, hello, we're on live right now. What? The link is not working for you? Okay. Okay. So she's going to help you. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Okay. You might need to send it to your email. Okay. All right. Bye bye. All right. Thank you for your patience. So she's coming. We're working out the YouTube link so we can be on live together. But so, like I was saying, what we are actually doing is making sure in 2025, all of the things that aren't in our plans, that aren't in the goals that we have, the things that come up, whether it's in our personal lives, whether it's in our business, all of these things, we are actually deciding how we are going to handle it. If we are going to let it kind of take us out, you know what I mean? In terms of taking us out, I mean like shrink small and not really deal with things the way that we should. And that doesn't just include, the things that maybe just happen to us outside of ourselves, but this includes relationships too, because everything mostly in our life that involves something else involves relationships. And the relationships that we of course have with ourselves, but our relationships that we have with our significant other, relationships that we have with our family members, the relationships that we have with our coworkers. 2025 is a year for forgiveness, right? We want to forgive ourselves, we want to forgive others. And forgiving others for the things that may have happened doesn't mean that you don't forget or abandon what happened, right? But we have to find forgiveness for it, because we're just blocking ourselves if we do that. And there's no more blocking ourselves in 2025. We are in a time of evolution. We are in a time of momentum. We are in a time of real manifestation. 2025 is a year that whatever you decide to put out, through your language, through your mindset, through your vision, through your goals, those things are going to come into fruition. So if you're going to put out something that's negative, if you're going to put out things that don't serve you, if you're going to continue to involve yourself in relationships and environments that you know are no good for you, then guess what? Those things are going to continue to manifest. So I feel like 2024 was a period for real healing, was a period for digging things up, was a time to plant seeds. And 2025 is the time that you harvest it. But you need to be careful and you need to be mindful and you need to be intentional with everything that you're doing, with everything that you're building, and making sure your mindset stays focused on the things that you want, on what you're building, on positive things, on things that do not involve lack, that do not involve fear, that do not involve anxiety. Yes, we are human living a human experience, but we are the creators of our world. And I think on a bigger level, and I've talked about this before on a live, I know that people sometimes don't look at things that way. They look at other people to do the things for them that they should do for themselves. But we have to really step into our power. We really need to understand that we are the creators, that we are the leaders, that we are the people that have to do the things to really get our lives, ourselves further. Sometimes we are the ones in our families that have to lead, because guess what? Nobody else is going to do it. But if you have a vision for what it is that you want to do, nobody else has that vision, because the creator, God, did not give everybody that vision. God gave it to you. So that's why it's so important to get the relationships right. It's so important to get your relationship with yourself right. It's so important to start healing through things. It's so important to release all of those negative thoughts, the lack mindset, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to finances, when it comes to building your dreams. It is time to step into your power and really become the kings and queens that God made us to be. Because if you didn't have to go through tests in life, if you didn't have to go through obstacles in life, if those things wouldn't happen, you wouldn't really be able to see your strength. People wouldn't be able to see that strength in you. I always say this: you don't know who is watching you when you're overcoming things, even though when you're in the midst of it, it seems like, what am I doing? I don't know which way to turn. I don't know what to do. When you overcome it, because I know who I'm talking to, I'm talking to the most powerful people, right, on the universe. So when you do overcome it, people are watching you and they're looking at you and they're like, wow, how did you do that? So you have to keep putting the best foot forward so that you can overcome all of the obstacles, that mindset, all of those things so that you can create the world that you want to create. I know that especially at the end of the year, it is very difficult sometimes shifting into the new year. Social media, we're watching social media, we're watching all of these people, everything looks perfect, the relationships look perfect, and smile for the camera, and everybody's life looks great. But please remember that these are cliques of people's lives. I'm not saying that there are not people that are genuinely happy and generally joyful and all of those things, but just remember that they are human beings too. And sitting there watching other people's lives sometimes make us want to shrink or think that we are lacking or missing something, and it's certainly not true. You want to live your most authentic life, and you want to live your most authentic life, number one, for you, not for other people, not to put on a show. Really realize, what is it that you want? What is it that you really desire for your life right now? What do you desire moving into your next level, moving onto your new timeline of 2025? What is the new story that you can create? Because we are divorcing that old story of 2024, that old mindset of 2024, the I don't know mindset, that I'm not sure what I'm doing. Why is this happening to me? That whole mentality of feeling like things are just happening to you. It is time to release that. It is time to divorce that old thinking and move into abundance, move into that mindset of you can accomplish, of you can do anything, of you can conquer anything, of you can get over anything. And I know that me speaking it, you may be like, Tamoa, but how do I do that when I'm in this place right now? You have to start with gratitude. There are things that I know that happened in your life that you are so grateful for, whether that's people in your life, whether that's experiences and things that you've gotten through, overcoming, just challenges and things, and you look back and you're like, I can't even believe that that was my life, but look at where I am now. I may not be exactly where I want to be, but I'm not there anymore. So the first thing you need to do to pull yourself up is to think about how grateful you are for the things that have happened, the things that have served you, the things that you made a decision for to move forward in your life, because that is where you will find your power. That person that you are, the person I say that you were, right? The one that may have had the negative thoughts, the one that, you know, um, had you feel times of anxiety or depression or all of those things, that person still exists in you. And that person is one that is still there, that you still have to be authentic to, that you still have to love on. It's just you don't let that person lead anymore. So the person that you were is still somebody that you embrace, is still somebody that you love, because that person got you to where you are now. But that person, they got to stay in the back because you done ripped yourself out the plastic. And that is the person that leads now. And we have Sunshine Jackson on. Hello, Sunshine.
Hey, beautiful.
How are you?
I am blessed and highly favored because we're not going to let nothing stop us, right? And we're not
Oh,
letting nothing stop us.
nothing stop us for
Absolutely nothing.
2025.
Mm-mm.
We are coming in like gangbusters. So I want you to introduce yourself and who you are and what you do so that everybody knows.
Hey, everybody. I am Sunshine, and I am a personal development coach. And I am here. I have been divinely aligned on this planet in my purpose, walking in my purpose. That's what this is all about because I want to help so many of you learn to get out of your own way. I want to help you learn that life is going to life no matter what, because that's what it's designed to do. But what happens is so many of us get caught up in our personal lives that we hit the pause button every time something happens, right? And so we set these goals and we have these dreams and we have all these ambitions for our life that we envision our life in a totally different spectrum. But every single time something happens in our life, we hit this pause button. We stop moving forward. Well, for whatever the reason, I've been sent here because I know the power of resilience. I have this thing that I guess it's my gift. I know and understand how to overcome. How and why? I don't know. It's just been something that I have been given. But what I can tell you is this: I'm overcoming right now, at this very second, in the midst of so many different things that's happening in my life. One thing I know how to do is show up in spite of. And so, what I want to do is help every single last person that needs a little bit of assistance. Because a lot of times we need a little bit of help. We don't know how to work through our own situations, how to still, in the midst of the challenges, the obstacles, the pain, the hurt, the upsetness, everything that we have going on, we don't know how to still keep moving forward to obtain our goals, to still find peace in our life, to still have joy in our soul. I'm here to help navigate you to every single last one of those while all the chaos is still happening in your life. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that kind of life? While all this stuff is still happening in your life, you have somebody in your life that's going to still help you move forward on a regular basis, to still find a peace, to still find a joy, to still accomplish your goals, even in the midst of. Oh, we're not playing with this life no more. We're not getting drugged by life no more. We're going to
Mm,
control our lives now. So
mm.
that's what I'm here for. We
Woo!
changing the game.
Oh, drop the mic, drop the mic, drop the mic. That's what I'm talking about. No more getting dragged. No more getting dragged by life, pulled over here. That's what I say. I don't. You always say I don't know what's going on. You get pulled over here, pulled over there. Don't even know what's going on. None of that. None of that. So, how did you, in the midst of going through it, what do you think keeps propelling you to move forward? Like what is that has you like, I'm not gonna stop.
Honestly speaking, there was a time in my life where I used to question why I went through so much pain in my life, right? There was a time when I used to question all the things that I went through when I was younger as a child. And I used to question God a lot about why did I have to go through all of these obstacles and these challenges? And why at such a young age was I experiencing so much pain? And it wasn't until I was aligned inside of a mentorship and I started doing personal development that I was on a call with a particular young lady who actually admitted to me on a particular one-on-one call that she had actually considered suicide on a particular day, that Friday, and we was on a one-on-one call that Monday. We cried on this call, and that call was a very long call. But on this call, she told me she was experiencing a lot of unusual things. And she's like, I want to talk to you about these things, but I know they're going to seem strange, but I need to speak to somebody. And it was on that call that defined my challenges and my pains, because on this particular call, every single thing that this young lady seemed to think that was so strange, that was like unheard of, I had actually been through. So I
Mm,
was now speaking from a place of not just empathy, but from experience. I had actually walked this walk. I was a part of this journey, and she could feel that. We connected totally different. And so I thanked her in more ways than one, that not that I just helped her, but she actually gave definition to all the pain that I was questioning my whole life. So we have to learn to stop questioning God. We have to learn to stop questioning why we go through the things that we go through, because we can't see the future, but God knows what's coming ahead. And had I never gone through the things that I went through, I would have never been in the position to sit up there and save somebody's life. This is bigger than me. It's bigger than you. It's bigger than us. I am not built in a way to fold. I don't know
mm,
what that's like. My mindset is set to, I know what I want, I know what I desire, I know what I pour into other people, and I believe that I deserve what I give. And I know that as long as I keep being solid, as long as I keep pouring the love, because I am a love person, I
Yeah.
operate out of love. Like that is who I am. As long as I keep being that person, and as long as I never quit, never give up, as long as I keep moving forward, I will truly have that life. And that's what fuels me. That I don't have the desire to ever fold because I truly believe that I'm going to have the life that I know that is destined for
Mm.
me to live.
Oh, okay. So we got to unpack that because, okay, number one, I always say, like I was just saying, you don't know who's watching you, number one, right? You don't know who's watching you. You may be in the midst of going through all of these things in your life that you are like,
Absolutely.
oh my God, how am I going to get through? But there is somebody that's watching you that's saying, oh my God, I can't believe how she's getting through. So that's
Absolutely.
number one, the impact that you have. You don't know why God is and I say God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, why you're
Absolutely.
being tested in the way that you're
Mhm.
being tested. But like you said, looking at that and realizing all these things that you went through was her walk too. And had you not been there to keep moving forward, you wouldn't have had a testimony to give her for her to get through what she's going through. And in turn, she has a testimony now for what she went through to help somebody else. That's what we're here for. That's the
Full
things that
circle.
God has put, yes, to put in us to create. And so that's
Absolutely.
why I say 2024, all the things that did not serve us, we have to divorce it. Like tonight, this is us signing our contract. This is us signing them divorce papers. Cause baby, you got your pen. Okay, because I'm just saying it's time. It's past time. Because like I said, it seems to me that 2024 was a year that people went through. It's almost like even more since the last 4 years of going through COVID, all
Mhm.
the transitions. I don't know what it was about 2024, and I feel like everybody had intentions of something else, but all of these other things happen. So it's like, what do you do now? You cannot sit and have the clock strike 12 and you go into what you've been sitting in this year. Because
No,
I
no,
really
you-
feel like
mhm.
2025 is a year, what you bring in is truly what you're gonna get. I feel that, and I feel like it's like a collective push for us to get into a different timeline, to let those old stories go so that we can be a part of a new story for our lives. What do you think?
Absolutely. I agree 1,000,000%. I think the releasing has to happen. And a lot of us don't seem to realize as we are looking to elevate our lives, how we must let go. I have spoken on this a lot of times on one on ones and even in the group discussions. And that was one of my final calls for 2024 in one of the mentorships where I did the personal development. It was about forgiveness and letting go. And I don't think enough of us really pay attention to the fact that we look to do all of this work to get to our goals, to have the success, but we don't look at the personal work that we have to do with our inner self as far as the things that we need to release
Mm,
in order to have the things that we truly want. We are occupying space, holding on to things that don't belong to us, that are hand me downs from other places. All is dead weight that we just keep carrying over the years. We're not making room for the things that we truly want, desire, and deserve.
mm.
If we're not making room for these things, how do we expect to receive them? Because at some point, there's a lot of space. Even a balloon, when you blow it up, when it gets to
Yep.
its full capacity, what happens? It busts.
I was just about to say it's a cap. It's a cap that you're gonna get
Absolutely.
to. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it happens in everything that we have going on. And so many of us are not making the room for the things that we truly desire in our life. So you're busting your behind and you're doing the work and you're wondering why you can't receive what you've been working so hard for.
Mm.
Because you haven't released the things that no longer serve you.
Woo.
Because you have not released the things that don't belong to you.
Mm.
Because you haven't forgiven some people that you just need. Just forgive them. It's not for them. You're forgiving them so that you can have the things that you busting your behind to get right now.
Mm.
Forgive them. Choose to forgive them before the clock strikes 12.
Yes.
Forgive them so that you can sit up there. Listen, listen. Let me tell you something. Listen, y'all. You've been planting seeds
Woo.
for years. For years, you've been planting these seeds. I'm getting goosebumps right now. We've been
Man.
planting these seeds, right? It's your harvest time. But
Period.
you can't, oh my gosh, you cannot go out here and eat from the harvest because you so busy letting your ego get in the way of you feasting off your harvest.
Woo.
Forgive these people. Release it. It don't have nothing to do with them. It's all about you eating off your harvest because you planted these seeds. It's rightfully yours. All of this abundance is yours. You work for it. You've done everything you needed to do except release the things
Mm.
that you need to release so that you could take in the abundance that you deserve. 2025 is ours.
Yes.
Release everything that you need to release so that you could now start taking in everything that is
Mm.
rightfully yours.
Mm.
It's our time, y'all.
It
It's
is.
our time.
You know what? When you were talking, you know what I got a visual of? I got a visual of somebody in like a big field, right? Like think of a farm. And they've been planting all this time and digging things up and digging things up and planting and planting. And far off here, right? Because it is a huge farm, all these things are growing and they're harvesting, but it's almost like they have blinders on and they way back here, still digging, 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 and planting, and not even realizing that the harvest has started growing. And so it's like they're missing out because they're stuck in the place where they were. They can't get to the place of growth. They can't get to the place of abundance because they so stuck where they are because they haven't opened their eyes. And that is because they haven't released it. Woo! That right there. That
It's a
part.
real thing. And how many of us is this happening to? Honestly speaking, because even if we choose to do it in one particular area, there's other areas that we just being stubborn about.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we'll release
Our
some of the stuff
ego. Our
right
ego.
there. That's it. We'll
Yeah.
release some of the stuff that we feel okay with. We this part right here seems a little bit easier, so we'll do this part. We could like deal with the parent part or whatever, but what about the exes and what about the so-called friends or the family members that really hit you in a place that oh it's those places that hurt the most, but that's the ones you need to forgive the fastest. Why? Because it's occupying the most space.
Mm,
It's occupying the most space. Don't forgive the ones that's occupying those little tiny spaces.
that
We
big
want the
stuff.
abundance. We want the
That's right.
abundance. So you got to sit up there and do those hard ones, the ones that's occupying the most space. Let it go. Free yourself. It's again, it's not about everybody else. It's about the level that you want to get to. And I'm sorry, but the level that I want to get to is endless.
Yeah.
Like it's endless. So my forgiveness right now, yeah, I've just learned at this point, I allow myself to feel. I do have to give myself the opportunity because I'm human to feel.
Yeah.
So, I feel it. I give myself a little bit of time to do that. But then after that, I'm too focused on where I'm going to be worried about those feelings back
Yep.
there.
That's
That was
exactly
that
right.
moment back there.
Yep.
I got to let that go
Yep.
because I'm too focused on up here. And
Yes.
those feelings back there and what happened back there has nothing to do with up here. That's
Nope.
back there.
Let it
And
go.
so let it go. Let it go. Because if I bring that with me, I am only stifling and holding myself in bondage. I am keeping myself in a place of suffering. Why would I hold myself captive in a place of suffering if
Mm,
I'm saying I want abundance and I want peace and I want joy, but I'm bringing my pain with me. Why would I do that?
It's like locking yourself up. It's like locking yourself up.
When you got the
Is
key,
You got the
you,
key, but you keep locking, you keep coming out and then putting yourself back in jail. And then while you're in jail, you beating yourself up. What do you do? But you know, one of the biggest things you keep saying, and this is so funny because you've probably said this so many times, but you know how sometimes things don't really hit you until you think about
Mhm.
them, and it's like the red car. You never notice the red car on the road, and then it's a thousand red cars. The word
Absolutely.
desire. So desire, I realize, is so important when it comes to abundance, when it
Mhm.
comes to wanting to attract and manifest the things that you want, because I feel like we think of all of these things that we have visions for, that we want to create and do, but what do you truly desire? That
Hmm.
word desire is powerful.
It
And I
is.
think that sometimes we don't even allow ourselves to really desire something because we may feel like we're not worthy of it. And
Ooh.
it's the same thing with receiving, right? Because you and I both know we are givers. We are givers to our heart. We will give and give and give and give.
Mhm.
But then somebody turns the tables, and then they want us to receive what we've given, and we like, wait, what? We're used to being on the other side, but then you realize, why aren't I worth
Mhm.
receiving? So the same
Mhm.
way that you're a giver, you have to be able to receive, because there will be a
Absolutely.
cap again on the abundance that comes your way if you don't think that you are worthy of receiving and it is not connected to what you desire.
You done said a whole mouthful there, like an entire mouthful. I'm gonna go back to the desire part, and I agree. It's hard. The desires are extremely powerful, and I think so many of us. It's hard to get to the desires of your heart when so many of us don't even truly know what we want.
Oh, mm,
When you can't even navigate, when you truly ask people what it is that they want, how many people get stuck right there as far as really being able to decipher what it is that they truly want? We're so busy going through the motions of life that we don't take the time out to think about who we are at this present moment, not who we've been. We we're operating out of a place and a space about who we've been. Like, so many people haven't thought about, like, what your favorite color is. When somebody asks you that, you automatically just say the color that you've been used to saying for years. But you're not that person.
no,
You're not still Kenny from the block in
no,
second grade where blue was your favorite color. Who is Kenny that's no longer around the way, that has made his way out the projects or
yeah,
wherever he was from, that has this other job now? What is your favorite color today? Have you thought about it? Have you thought about Keisha, that is no longer, that single parent anymore, who
yeah,
now has three kids instead of one, who's now married and is now happier than she's ever been? Who said that orange is still her favorite color? Keisha, I need you to think about who you are now, Queen.
yeah,
Who are you today, Goddess? And does orange still bring you the same joy that it brought you back then? We don't take the time out to think about the pleasures of today.
yeah.
And so, how can we get to what we truly desire when we don't even take the time out to think about what we really want and
The
who we
old
really
operating
are?
system, old operating system.
Yeah. And that starts with who we really are. You
Yeah,
got to know who you are to know what you want in order to ever get to what you truly desire. And that's that real work. And so, whoo, child, that's some layers. That's when you start really taking the time out to do that self work, that self love, the stuff that we really don't touch on. That changes our lives, and that puts us in a totally different playing field. And you want to talk about taking off blinders? I need to change this prescription right now, my darling.
I know
Right
that's
now.
right.
Right now.
It's I mean, even if I think, right, think about myself in like a year ago, I think back, it's almost like I said, that shadow work, right? Because I know I know her, right? I know
Mhm.
Danielle, but even thinking about a year ago who I was is not who I am today. This last year, I have had to peel back and confront so much stuff. I'm talking about really look at myself, like you say, and cut it, cut it out. Cut it out. And I do. I have to walk past the mirror sometime and I have to just say, cut it out.
Absolutely.
Right. And
Absolutely.
not blaming other people and not
Absolutely.
giving excuse to my thoughts, to my behavior, but really
Mhm.
confronting it. And in the confrontation with myself, also being kind to myself and
Mm.
saying to myself, okay, no, I don't like how I behaved. I don't like how I treated myself. I don't like how I may have treated the other person.
Mhm.
But at the time, that's where I was.
Right.
But I know now. And so I can let that go. I can forgive myself. But what I'm not going to do is let that old operating system take over and allow me to repeat the same thing. And it takes a lot of big girl panties. Because
Listen,
there's comfort in that
I
dysfunction.
you know, sometimes I'm not even sure if they make a big enough size in those big girl panties that we need to put on, right? Like, and listen, because when you have to, one thing I've realized is that forgiveness isn't easy. Period. Especially when you're talking about hurt and pain that's associated a lot of the times when it comes to forgiveness. However, we are more likely to forgive any and everybody.
Yes.
We find it a lot easier to forgive any and everybody before we forgive ourselves.
Mm,
And that is one of the hardest things that we could ever do is really take the time out to do the work to forgive ourselves. And a lot of the times, I think what makes it so hard is it's not forgiving ourselves for what we've so much done to other people. It's for what we have allowed other people to do to us.
yes.
When you have to sit and look at yourself in the mirror and think to yourself, I was mad at you for the way in which you wasn't loving me properly. And so I chose not to be with you anymore, or I no longer desired to be with you anymore because you wasn't loving me properly. And then you take that hard look in the mirror at yourself and realize, wow, like I could only let somebody mistreat me the way they have. I could only let these people
Mm,
do the things that they've done to me the way that they have for as long as they have if I wasn't loving myself
mm,
properly. That hit real different. That's a different type of pain. That's a different type of forgiveness. And so it becomes really real. It becomes really difficult. But when you decide to forgive you for that part, when you step into the realm of you, that power that you take back in that moment is one of the ways in which you don't fold
mm,
when these challenges and obstacles of life are thrown at you
mm,
because you've stood in the fire with yourself and been as real and as transparent and as naked as it gets. And so, how dare you let anything or anybody else make you fold when you didn't crumble, when you faced your own fire within yourself?
mm. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I can't even speak right now. That right there is everything. Because when we talk about using your pain as your power, that's it right there.
Mhm.
Because it's so easy to blame other people for the things that we have allowed them to do to us.
Yep.
And when you, like you said, when you look in that mirror and you put them panties on and you decide no more, no more, that's that I gotta hop off this timeline because this
Yeah.
this story this story can't go with me no more. It can't go with me in 2025. This story is
Mm-mm.
gone. End of story, book closed, the end, chapter over. That's it. It's a wrap on it. It can't go.
Mhm.
So I just when I think of all of this and all of the things, especially that 2024 brought, and mind you, the growth and everything that has happened, when you think about it, it has been incredible
Mhm.
because it's another testimony, right?
Mhm.
It's something else that's going to provide impact to help somebody else, like the story you told. And so the timeline, it's got to go. But
Mhm.
the new one, what are you looking for 2025? What are you looking forward to?
Oh man. So I've already spoken about operating from a place of love, right? That is truly like who I am. Um, I'm looking forward to building a life at this point that just reflects my heart. I'm looking for like the seeds that I've planted. I'm ready to eat. That's
Ooh,
how I feel. I'm like, it's time to eat. And so for me, this is about looking at everything that I've put out over the years, even in the midst of my own chaos, even in the midst of my own pain, I kept pouring in an abundance of love, still looking to help other people be happy, be peaceful, have joy in their hearts and their soul, be successful, even at some of my lowest moments. I was excited to be their biggest cheerleader. So for me, this is all about just literally letting the sun shine over the garden in which I have planted the seeds that my tears have watered,
mm,
and truly just eating from the harvest of the pain that my pain has sat up there, and let that grow because that's my pain. It's
yeah,
been years of that.
yeah.
My tears watered that garden, like all of that. I planted seeds in the midst of all of that, and the sun shined in spite of. And when there's the rain and the sun, it creates those rainbows, right? And so for me, the pot of gold is harvest time. And so I'm looking forward to just eating from the harvest of my pain, of what I've poured into no matter what. I never gave up.
No,
I showed up no matter what. And so I'm looking forward to truly um, really having the abundance that is going to flow from what I've poured into the universe in spite of.
mm. And you know what? I watch you. And so what you speak is truth in who you are. And publicly, I want to thank you for helping me in
Mm.
spite of what you go through yourself and helping all of the other people that you do in the community that we serve. Because everybody knows no matter what, sunshine is showing up, no matter what. And I want to thank you for being that person. I want to thank you for not allowing yourself to say, you know what? Nope, today I don't feel like it, so I'm just not going to do it. I want to thank you for showing up, and not just showing up, but showing up with authenticity, showing up with energy, showing up with love, showing up with sitting in your power despite what was going on in the background. Because you don't know how many lives you touch when you may be in your deepest depths of pain. Because I know what's going on, but you still are pouring into me. And so I thank you for that, sunshine. I really, really do. You are a remarkable woman. So thank you.
I'm not gonna let you get me to crying. I,
Girl, sip a drink. Sip some drink.
look,
Take a
I
sip.
sipped the wine before I sipped the wine before I let you get me to crying in here tonight. Listen, no, like you have no idea. Thank you, for even just taking the time out to express that, right? Because um I'm not going to let you get me there.
It's okay. You
No,
just start
it
talking
means
about the tears. You said the tears. Look, the tears. Look what the
don't you do
tears
that.
do.
Don't you do that. No, but it means, it means so much to somebody like myself because I want you to think about, people like us that have these big hearts that love like unconditionally, that just are continuously givers, right? And it's not just given like materialistically. When you're a giver, you give so much of yourself selflessly. You're constantly giving of yourself, right? But the truth of the matter is that you're giving so much of yourself, so much that you barely hold on to anything for you. And a lot of times you don't even know that you're empty or at a place of depletion until you're already there.
Yep.
And then what winds up happening is so often in my life and so often in so many people's lives that lead like that from that heart space, it's very rare for anybody to truly acknowledge you for being that person.
Yep.
So thank you
You're welcome. I
for
don't want to ever take
seeing.
it for granted. One thing that I've realized, especially over the last few years, is the people in my life, I don't want to take them for granted because it gets easy, right? Because they're always
Mhm.
there, or they're playing
Yeah.
this certain part in your life, and so you get used to it. But I don't
Mhm.
want that to just be my standard when it comes to relationships. I want to be able to tell the people that I love, that I care about, what they do for me in real time. Like, I don't have to wait for that.
Mhm.
And I shouldn't, because I
Mhm.
don't want to take anybody for granted. And I
Absolutely.
mean that wholeheartedly. Um so yes, I can't wait to see what 2025 brings you. I cannot wait, because I'm standing right by you. Look, sprinkle it on me, sprinkle it
Look,
on
that's why we rubbing elbows, girl. We doing
me.
it together, and honestly speaking, like I said, I thank you so much for just even the acknowledgement, but for being that same exact person in my life. And honestly speaking, we haven't known each other. Like you're not my day one. We're not each other's day one. And it's very rare to meet people in your life at this point in your life that could mean so much to you. Right. And so the same way that you see me, the same person that you feel like I've been to you. And that's why I know like the universe is so real. And for those, like whoever you serve or see as your higher being, like the gratitude is always on like a million, because this is definitely not by accident.
No.
Um, the lives are so whew, like, man, the journey, right? Like for us to not be day ones, but to be linked in so many ways, in such a powerful way. And the timing, like we
Yes.
could have never, if somebody said, Tamoa and Sunshine, I will pay you $20 million individually and you $20 million. if we could have scheduled our lives however together and align it the way that it has been playing out, if we could have made this happen ourselves naturally,
Yeah.
we still would never have made the $20 million
No.
individually.
Nope.
It just would have never happened.
Nope.
I don't care what we would have done as individuals.
Yes.
This is divinely done, and you cannot not acknowledge that,
No.
and so the gratitude that I have for you and who and what you've been in my life, um there are no words sometimes, for that level of gratitude. And so I thank you because, sometimes on the other end of the phone, and I'm usually not somebody who picks up the phone, especially like when I'm going through a lot. I am like the turtle, when the turtle is going through things, the
Yep.
first thing it does is retracts its head and goes into this shell.
Yep.
That's me.
Mhm.
I am that person. I am the person that goes into this shell and I don't talk to anybody and I don't come out like that's really who I've been for so long when it comes to my personal life. I can still be there for other people, but I never really like come out and talk about me or let people even in to be there for me or talk about me. You're somebody that I've let in. You're somebody that I felt safe with to peek my head out. And safety,
Mm.
I'm not going to do it. But that word safety, right? Like, and so we don't understand how much of a major part safety plays in our life. And sometimes we take it for granted or we overlook it, whether it's for us or whether we're giving it. And that's never something to play with. And so we have to be mindful at all times when it comes to safety because we don't know how the smallest thing, a mediocre thing that we think, we don't know how we can sit up there and intervene in anybody's safety or how somebody else can intervene in our safety, the roles that we play. And so it's so important that at all times we be mindful of being a person that creates that safe space at all times for people. And that's something that I want to make sure that I am fully present about at all times from now on.
Yeah.
It was something that I've always prided myself on.
Yeah.
However, I don't think that I've been 100% present at all times in creating that. And I have to make sure that I get back to being that person,
Mhm.
and being in alignment of truly walking in the essence of who I am and not ever diverging from that space because safety is everything. And so, thank you for being that person for me at some of the most pivotal points for me, even this year. So, I appreciate you and love you to life for that.
You're welcome, sis, and I love you too. And I just, I'm so, like I said at the beginning of this video, is I'm so just grateful, right? Like no matter what comes, the people in our life. I was telling the audience just gratitude when you get to those points of feeling anxious or depressed, or
Mhm,
things are all these things are happening back to back to back to back.
mhm,
The gratitude, because there is always something that you can be grateful for. I it has to be, but you have to be able to peek your head out, like you said, that the turtle in the shell. You got to be able to peek your head out of that shell
mhm.
and count those things that you're grateful for, because that's how I feel like you start letting the light in. You start letting
Absolutely.
the light in, because we can think of 100 million things that are going bad, but we don't want to think about the 100 million things that we've overcome, that we've gotten through, the things that we,
Mhm,
you know what I mean, that we don't have to deal with anymore, the decisions
absolutely.
that we made to move forward. We always, it's easier to go with the negatives talk. So
Mhm,
the gratitude, like you said, has got to be something that we start with. And for me, for 2025, what I really, really want is just to constantly live in a space of authenticity. Like
Mhm.
for me,
Absolutely.
just because
Absolutely.
I felt like I haven't, like it was about peeling back those layers and those shells of myself and those different, what, all of those versions or whatever. But
Mhm.
I just want to be in this space of authenticity to who I really am, because I feel like everything that is on the other side of that for me is connected to who I really am.
Yep.
And so I already know that's how I'm going to be, because I can't go back. I can't go back if I wanted to.
On no day.
It
On
doesn't.
no day.
Yeah.
You're
So
right.
I want you to tell everybody where they can find you, and I'm gonna put make sure all your like links and description and everything is gonna be. I mean, excuse me, all your links and where to find you and what you do is gonna be in our description once the video starts running through. But I want you to just tell everybody where they can find you and like the services that you provide.
Absolutely. So right now it's kind of crazy. So probably what's today? Tuesday. I'm thinking by the end of this week, probably before then, I'm going through a major overhaul. So probably before the end of this week, if not by Friday, all of this may change because it's some major things happening.
Yeah.
It's we popping out, we popping out, we popping out. It's all about right aligning with your purpose, and that's my 2025. My 2025 is all about aligning with my purpose and trusting the process.
Mm,
Like that's it. Like
yeah.
I don't have no more. It's just truly about aligning with my purpose and trusting the process. So right now, today, at this very moment, you can find me on IG at the number two, love LUV sunshine. Right there. You can find me right there. I'm not sure how long, but right now, today, you can find me right there. But in a minute, there's so many other places that you're about to see a whole lot coming out. I do one-on-one consultations for people. Again, um, you need help. Sometimes we just need a little bit of help. Without the help that I received, I would not have been able to do what I'm doing right now. I was stuck in my own way. There was a time when I was allowing my temporary circumstances to hold me in permanent conditions.
Mm, mm,
Not anymore.
mm.
It's time to take flight. It's time to soar. It is time to spread your wings. And so I am here to help anybody to get to the point where I will not allow you to hold yourself hostage in your own suffering for temporary circumstances. And I don't care how big it is, it's temporary. And so I will do one on one consultations with you. And a lot of the times, a lot of people are offering group settings, right? But sometimes we need that one on one
Yes.
direct contact where you can sit and talk to somebody that you can truly connect with, that has been through a lot of the things that you've been through. And not is just talking about advice. We're not talking about advice. We're talking about a lot of the times has walked that walk,
Yep. Yep.
that has been in those shoes, right? Because I know there's not a lot of people walking this earth that could walk in my boots, my heels,
Yep.
my Nikes, my Adidas. Listen, I, I'm
Mhm.
different. I'm built different.
Yep.
But again, that's why I said it's about the alignment. It's about me aligning with my purpose. And I'm finally at a point where I want to open myself up to be more fruitful, to actually open myself up to help more people
Yes.
because I know that this is bigger than me. I understand that, again, this is way bigger than I could have ever imagined. And there's so many of us that just need a little bit of assistance to be able to help us get to our successes. And there's nothing more powerful than when we join side by side with each other, join hands, when we start helping each other, not operating from that lack mindset or that crabs in the barrel bucket or whatever you want to call it mentality. But when we see the beauty in each other, when we see the power in each other. And it doesn't matter what you don't have or where you at. I can meet you there and help you get to the top because we in this together. I see you in your power and we're gonna walk in our power together. I'm
Mm,
here for all of it.
mm,
So there's ebooks on it. There's
mm.
so much to come, but
That's
I
okay.
just
We
want to
just
see
need
everybody at
look.
the top.
They just need a way to DM you. That's it. Everything. Look, just give it just one way for them to DM you. So we're gonna put her IG in there, and anything that updates as this video rolls along, we'll be updating the description with her information. But I just gotta say this before we close up. I got stuck on. Say that again. The temporary. Say that again. Say the
There's no way that we can allow anybody, not you, Tamoa, not me, none of us, we cannot allow ourselves to be stuck in temporary situations, right? Right? While allow, hold on, because this is my child, my bad. Hold on. This is my baby, love. I got a baby that's gonna be on TV tonight, y'all. CNN. Hold on.
Oh, this mothering in real time.
Yeah, this is mothering in real time. Give me a second. Hold on. I keep trying to stop this daggone thing and it's moving. I'm like, hopefully y'all can't hear it on this end. Hopefully the
No, we
sound
can't.
took it out.
No, we can't hear it.
Okay, good. What is wrong with this thing? It don't even want to let me. Okay.
Yes.
So too many times we are allowing ourselves to literally hope like be in these permanent situations, be stuck in permanent situations, be stuck making permanent decisions for temporary circumstances.
Oh, that part. That's the part where we hold ourselves captive. Because the thing done been over. It's been over, but we still stuck there in our minds. We still stuck, and then we make decisions based on where we are, because we still stuck, and then it keeps on going over and over again. Oh man, stop that,
But it's because
that
of
part.
what you talked about, right? It's because of how you started this all
Woo.
off, because we didn't release it.
We didn't release it.
All because we didn't let it go.
Man, come on with it. Come on with it. Come on with it. I'm about to get up this chair and start hollering like we in church. Now come on.
Yeah, you hey, this all you, Samoa. This is you, my love. This all you, girl.
Woo. Well, Sunshine, thank you so much. And oh, hold your glass up. Hold your glass up. Hold your glass
Oh,
up. So we
baby,
can do
baby.
a
What
toast.
time is it? I
We
don't
gonna
even
do
know what time is
it's
it.
it's
What time?
almost 10, but we
Whew.
celebrated before 12. Cause baby, look, we divorced in 2024 and what
Yes,
didn't
we
serve
are.
us.
Listen.
Cheers, my love.
Cheers to you, my love. We are happily saying goodbye to
Yes.
2024.
Yes.
Okay, so happy new year to you. Bye to 2024. And to
Yes.
anybody else out there, listen, wave goodbye to it. Release all the things that you need to release. Do it right now, right
Right
now.
now.
Don't wait another second before midnight. Forgive somebody. Send somebody a text and tell them that you forgive them. Send
Yes.
somebody a text and tell them you love them. And if you're feeling real bold, call them. Just don't
Call
call
them.
them drunk, though.
Call
Don't
them.
call them
No,
drunk.
no, no. Don't call them drunk, because then
Don't
there's
call them
some other
drunk.
stuff gonna come up, and then the stuff from 1976 don't gonna come out and all that. No, no, we not. We make sure you sober before you call them. Please do, so that you can just focus on the forgiveness,
Absolutely.
because that conversation may
Absolutely.
go a whole nother way. So no, no, no.
But we letting it go so we can
Yes,
receive our abundance. That's
that's
what's
right.
coming.
That's our no capping ourselves anymore. And
Absolutely.
I just want to send everybody so much love and so much light. And new video dropping tomorrow on
Oh,
financial therapy to prosperity. So look out for that. It's going to be dropping tomorrow evening on January 1st. And it is about date or wait after divorce,
mm,
baby. Mm.
I'm waiting, baby.
Look, I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm somewhere in the middle.
Girl, you see my abundance candle right here? Me and my abundance candle. We gonna wait, baby. We gonna wait. You see this money green?
I know that's right. We gotta wait till them buckets get full. But
There you go.
yes, but I love you. Thank you so much again, Sunshine. I love my financial therapy to prosperity family, and always remember, you are your greatest value. You are your greatest asset. Take care.
Absolutely. Love
2024,
you.
here we come. Happy New Year.
Goodbye, 2024. Hello, 2025. Love you,
Yeah.
Tamoa. You're a
Love you too,
phenomenal.
Queen.